Program. I am an Altadena resident and I have lived in Altadena since 2002. Recently, and this has happened before, this happened about a year ago, but now with all the school consolidation stuff going on, Altadena is posting signs that Altadena would like to become its own unified school district. And the point was made briefly before by a fellow parent, but I would like to talk about it again because let's think about the impact. If Altadena becomes its own unified school district, think about how that will impact all of us. It's not just that those schools will go. Think about how much money this district will lose. And that $30 million budget deficit that we are trying to close will get worse. You won't be able to close it. So if you close 2 schools in Altadena, you can say goodbye to Altadena and you will double your loss in income.
Thank you. Next speaker,
closing our middle school and having to fight to keep babies off our campus, and even starting kindergarten. When I started, Norman Coombs did not have good API scores. They were around, low to mid 600s. I took a chance. I've taken many chances. I'm done taking chances. I will not look for another school for my child. I will leave the district, one way or another. Speaking for the families that can't, that don't have choices, families that want choices, families that made logical, sound decisions for their families, got their children into Norma Coombs or wherever they got them into, whether it was San Rafael's dual immersion program. Doesn't matter. Parents make sound decisions. We make decisions, Mr. Diaz, hoping that we can make the decision one time and not have to keep making it. To put my children in Norma Coombs, thinking that they were going to stay there through 8th grade. Then they got to 5th grade, and I had to rethink everything. Do we put the house on the market? Do we go to private schools? Now what do I do? I'm one of the lucky ones. My children got into Marshall. But guess what? They're in a 6th grade class with 40 children. Almost 40 at Marshall. And I was very sad to hear that many of the parents of my children's friends received letters saying that their children are attending one of California's 1,000 worst performing middle schools. We were told they were closing Norma Coombs Middle School because of the excellent middle school program. Where are the excellent middle schools? I do not trust that by closing any of these elementary schools, we're going to see any savings. In fact, Mr. Papalardo gave data on what we expect to save. Well, maybe we'll see some savings on utilities. Oh, but no, you don't really shut down the school. You still have utility bills even for closed spaces. Where are the savings? Are you going to sell properties? If so, sell the sites that you have already sold. Sell them now. Davidson will buy noise. That's all I need to say. This just does not make sense. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening, everyone. What I wanted to say, I think it's been said pretty much by everyone here, and we'll repeat it again. But I am a parent from Norma Coombs. Our 5-year-old, we were very ecstatic when we got the letter that she accepted to Norma Coombs. And for my wife and I, that was really, really our own choice in the PUSD. We didn't think we were going to get in because, looking at the previous year's numbers of how many applications there were and how many available seats, there were, I believe, if I'm correct, over 800 or close to 800 applications. And at that time there are about 60 seats open, if I'm correct, and I just, I don't know what kind of luck we would have, and, you know, luckily we got accepted, and I felt very, very, very lucky for it. And so, you know, here he starts kinder, and, you know, we feel like, you know, we may have to move on it. I just don't know what we would do. You know, my wife and I both came up from public school. We believe in public school. We believe, you know, in anything that has to do with bringing communities together for the sake of the public trust, like someone else has said. And so we don't know what we're going to do. And I feel that this process here that is going on is creating this split in our community, you know, between those that had and those that don't have. Consider that, you know, that we would have to, you know, those of us that can, you know, we have the option of moving to a private school or something else. But then what about the other members of our community that we see, you know, every day and talk to, what's going to happen to them, and just create a further division in our community. And so, more what I want to say right now, though, is to, you know, ask for the committee members, you know, the ability of this 21-member committee to take a stand and tell, you know, the superintendent and the school board to do their job. You know, not to do it like it's very sickening to see this. You know, it's an election, they are politicians, and, you know, as we often hear, politics is supposed to be the art of compromise. And so let's have these politicians, you know, practice their art. What were they elected for? They were not elected to put us against each other. And you know, so we see the bring that creative ways to cut costs. You know, but that also includes us as parents. You know, we clearly value quality education. And so as we move forward with this, hopefully those schools will be closed down. And so also us as parents, let's put our money where our values are. You know, that someone talked earlier about that conversation that in the past, let's see how we can contribute our funds to our schools to keep programs running. And but let's put pressure on our elected officials to work for our benefit and not to put us against each other.
Thank you. Our next speaker is number 34. It's now 8:30, and we have over 60 people requesting to speak. So we're going to ask if the future speakers can keep it down to 2 minutes. That would be helpful. We've got another 30 speakers to go. Speaker number 34, Carla Bluestone. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Carla Bluestone. I'm a parent at San Rafael Elementary School. Enrolled in the immersion program. My daughter Audrey in second, my daughter Anna in kindergarten. Both of whom have taken out the private school system to attend PUSD. I'd like to thank each of the 21 committee members, the Board of Education, and Superintendent Diaz for their thoughtful and measured evaluation of these consolidation issues. There are no easy solutions to these issues. However, I was heartened to hear of a consolidation solution that would actually strengthen a school rather than fragment or dilute it. And that idea is to combine both branches of the dual immersion program, both Mandarin and Spanish, onto one campus. The DLP is an actively growing program and one of the many shining stars of PUSD. The original vision of the dual immersion program was to house both Mandarin and Spanish under one roof. However, due to overwhelming demand for the program, it was forced to split between San Rafael and Burbank. If there exists any silver lining to these consolidation decisions, fulfilling the original vision of combining both branches of the dual immersion program would be it. Now, my wildly myopic self-interest aside, the reasons, and for all the reasons my esteemed fellow San Rafael parents have stated, I'm hopeful that San Rafael will be allowed to thrive and grow from the seeds of positive change that were planted a year ago when the Please, don't pull San Rafael out by its roots. Instead, let us thrive. We are inclusion, we are dual immersion, and we stand